Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Coaching Call podcast. On this podcast, we'll cover various types of coaching by trainers in sports, martial arts, fitness, and business. We'll discuss each coach's methods to getting the most out of their respective athletes or clients and how they attempt to change the platform in which they coach. Join us on a fun adventure as we discuss unique coaching styles. Coaching is a universal part of how we get others to get something done. Join your host, Rafael, and his guests on this unique journey in coaching.
Hi, I'm Sifu Rafael, and this is the Coaching Call podcast. If you enjoy this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. This episode was made possible by listeners like you. Matthew, wow, good morning, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
My pleasure. Now, I think I got a little color from you. Your T-shirt is in here somewhere. I try to dress.
I know, I can see it.
Yeah.
I had to wear something bright because you're such a vibrant human being. I love your energy.
Thank you.
And here's the crazy thing. Many years ago, I used to watch your infomercials. I used to watch your commercials. And I was like, this guy's a little out there. He really is trying to get somebody's attention. And you have truly captured so many people's attention that you've even written 20 books.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Well, they all don't make money, so you got to keep writing.
Matthew, I would love to get to know you a little bit more. You're such a vibrant human being that you're passionate about what you have been doing all this time, helping people understand what money's all about. They call you the money guy, right? So I want to get to know you. Where were you born? And who influenced you before the age of 10 even?
Oh, my God. Roy Rogers, maybe? Gene Autry.
Really?
I remember as a kid, it was cowboys. I think I said the word,
Where were you born? Where were you born?
Wilkesboro, Pennsylvania, a little coal mining town. I realized recently I'm a grandson of coal miners. I'm a coal miner's grandson. Yeah, both my grandparents work in the coal mines in Pennsylvania. And it went on from there. I'm glad I got out of Pennsylvania. But it's in my mind every day now. The work I do now is really for the folks in Pennsylvania, telling you the truth, or the immigrant coal miners that just don't know the system and what's available to them. And the rich people know this, and they figured it out. I mean, you see this now with the administration. You see all the billionaires come into account. They know how wealthy the government is going to give away money to everybody, and they want to be first in line. And the rest of us feel that, it's something, that's immoral maybe. But, what's immoral, I think we're giving it to the wrong people who don't need it.
For sure.
That's what keeps me going. And it's all about education. And that's what, the weirdness of me, I feel that's not my weird part. That's my best part.
Right. Your passion. Yeah.
But I mean, that's me. And I think that's what we all have. We all have inside of us something that's very unique. And that's what we have to dig out of us, because that's what we're going to be best at. We're not going to be best at following somebody else, because we're not that person. We're all different people, different animals, and the makeup of all of us are different. And our job is not to follow someone else's path. Our follow is to find out what the fuck your path is.
Right. It's when you said Roy Rogers, I was like, wait a minute. I remember I used to be an usher when I was 16 years old at the Baronet Coronet in Manhattan and the Ziegfeld movie theater. And before the shows would start, the movies, there was Roy Rogers and a couple of other people, and they used to do charity. And we used to have to run around collecting money from the audience in cups, and they would put some money in it. And it was the most terrible part of my job because I didn't want to keep asking people for money who just came to watch a movie. But
Wow.
people gave.
Yeah.
People gave money, and we would have those buckets full, and then we would go and empty into a bigger one, and we would give it to the foundation. So
Yeah.
you got passionate about money at what age?
Well, I think you always grow up. I mean, growing up in an immigrant kind of family, you got to learn how to feed yourself, man.
Mm.
And that is ground into. My father had a small little business, and I worked it there, and starting in 8th grade, and that's what life was about. And I appreciate that. A lot of us don't have to live like that, or it doesn't matter. But I think it's, first of all, you have to take care of yourself. I feel, okay, you're responsible for you, and so how do you feed yourself or take care of yourself so other people don't have to? And sometimes you need that help. Okay,
You do.
but then after you take care of yourself, then to me, it's then how do you help others? And I just can't think of a better platform in life, and that's why I even see investing. You invest in yourself first, so you can contribute more to society as much as you possibly can by making your skills or education or whatever. So invest in yourself, and then after that, I think, well, then we want to go to the stock market and all. I think that's full of shit. You should invest in. Well, it so much of it is just a casino, and you
Ooh, I love that the concept of casino
right.
and life. You said something that really made me think about helping others. Most people, until they get to a certain age, it's all about me, 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 me. Then when they get to a certain age, it's like, okay, I've done plenty for me. How can I help others? But you didn't start that way, did you?
Well, no, I mean, it's always in me, but it was
Of
me because
course,
I felt it was my responsibility to take care of me
of
first.
course,
If I
of
didn't
course.
get food on the table, that it wouldn't be there. So that was, and then to me, part again is if you want to give to others, and that's what I think life is. It's a community, and
Mm,
us helping other people. And so, how can you give as more as you can? And I think that's by investing in yourself to get the skills or talent or whatever, so you could give more to others in society. Uh, and and I feel this more now than before that is the most selfish thing to do. Yeah,
but it
giving.
is the greatest thing to do, right?
Absolutely. That's why it's the most selfish thing to do, because it makes you feel so good. So that's why
Yeah.
everybody, "Oh, you're such a, selfish person by giving something." No, I'm a selfish bastard. I wanna make that I wanna feel so the feeling it gets from giving to other people is remarkable, and
Mhm.
that's the real joy in life. And to be in a position that you can do that, it creates your soul. And as I get older, particularly as a guy in our society, I mean,
Mm.
even Roy Rogers taught me how to be the fastest gun or whatever all the bullshit. Yeah. We want to be faster, stronger, smarter, and all that kind of stuff. And now at 81, man, I'm not going to be better at any of those things.
Hang on, hold on a minute. Did you just say 81?
Yeah.
When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Oh, that's so kind. Yeah. But it
When
is.
when you started thinking about, okay, I've helped myself. I have to put food on the table. Now, how can I help other people? What was that first venture that initiated that thought that, okay, let me start helping others?
Uh, God, when you start doing a lot of stuff that you plan on, dreamt about doing, like me being
Mm,
a New York Times bestseller. holy fuck. You know, I mean, I flunked every English class I've ever taken, been thrown out of and everything. So to me, to be on the New York Times bestseller, the first thing I did was call up my English teacher who flunked me in college.
Did you really?
I never found her, but I tried to find her to tell her, yeah, man, it didn't matter. I told you it didn't matter. And then what I realized is that when you have all these goals in life, that okay, I did them. And I remember the first time I was on some big national TV show, and I call all my friends or whatever. And so you spend a couple hours on the phone bragging to all the people you you want to brag and say, screw you to those cheerleaders who never went out with you in high school. And all this
Right.
score. So, and then what? See, and that's why, to me, that's a trap. A lot of those goals are a trap, because we're so smart to get to that goal. We will manipulate and cut the edges of our other values we have just to get to that goal. And there's other values that you're made up of that are more important than just being a New York Times bestseller or whatever it is. And that's why when you get there and you brag about that, then you got to go to work the next day too.
You sure do. You sure do. We had a comment earlier by Marilyn, and she said, "Greetings from London. How amazing is your guest? I love your style." And you have an incredible style that really makes you stand out, right? And when I first saw you on television, yes, I was a youngster, right? And you were all over the place with commercials. What propelled you to even start making commercials? Because if we remember Crazy Eddie, he was wacky, right? Crazy Eddie was, not only was he taking everybody's money, but he was also so out there, so crazy. And you stood out in a different way. Tell us what made you decide to do it that way.
Well, it's all about education. I used to be a computer science. I have an MBA in computer science, or actually management information systems. And I taught computers in back in the 70s in Washington, D.C. at the universities there at college, that people would come to get their degree at night, and I was teaching computers. And I realized, okay, if I'm there to teach them about computers, the first thing I have to do is keep them awake. So if I can't keep you awake, I can't teach you anything.
Powerful.
And then in my professional life, I said, okay, I have to first get people's attention if I want to teach them things, because this is like, I'm not selling real estate, I'm selling an idea or whatever it is, a philosophy of something I think is very important. And again, that goes on to if you can't keep people awake. Then when I started doing books and trying to get the people involved, then I couldn't do advertising in the beginning. I didn't have money to pay for this, and I was starting to publish my own books. I did some with New York people, and they didn't give me much money. So I said, fuck this. I'll do my own. And to do that, I couldn't afford buying commercials, but I found out, hey, I could get free time. If I could get the Wall Street Journal to write me up, or the local TV station to do something like that, then I don't have to buy the time. I could educate people by just being what I wound up being. It was like a professional guest. And then I quickly learned that media doesn't care what you say. I used to worry that I spent years and years studying this, but some, and my inside insecurity, hey, Lesko, don't you think of paragraph C, page 92, you lied about this? That was my biggest fear, that somebody show how incompetent I am. And I found nobody cares about any of that in the media. They just care about getting an audience.
Right. Right.
You could be right, wrong, who the fuck cares? Somebody I know in Washington does that a lot.
Oh, right, for sure. Somebody
And
currently there.
so that's what's it. And I said, God. So that's what I start doing. And then, boy, it's sort of like, as a professor, if I couldn't get your attention, something, how to tell you something that I think is important. So media was even worse. So I would focus on that so much. When I wrote a book, I would spend a year writing a book, and I'd spend a month figuring out what I was going to say. What I was going to say for a 1-minute interview, a 3-minute interview, a 5-minute interview. Then after that, it'll all come out. Doesn't matter. But you get some on the media, and you're doing the noon news in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or something. You only get 60 seconds.
Right.
My mind. Now I got to get out of me what I think is the best thing that people should know about my book, not what you think people should know about my book. So then I acted like a politician. They get this hard question and they deflect it and answer the question you should have answered. They wanted you to ask.
Right.
So I developed.
What was the first book that you did write?
It was called Getting Yours, the complete guide to government money. And I copied the whole thing. The whole thing was.
What do you mean by that?
I copied it, plagiarized.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. There's a book in the government printing office called The Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance. And I took that book. See, nothing in the government is copyrighted. You can take anything from the government and sell the hell out of it. You can't take government land to do it, but any public information is all public information. So I literally took a book from the government printing office, bought it for $35 at the time, and just cut and pasted it and sent it to people in New York, and they published it and went on talk shows and became a New York Times bestseller.
Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
That's why I want to call my English teachers.
Wow. So you understood that you could do this and get away with it, right? Did you put any of your own ideas, or did you put it in a better way than the actual book was written?
Well, obviously, because the book has sitting in the government printing office for 40 years. So it is people, because it's all bureaucratese. So I feel what I'm taking is a government program and telling you what it is, in layman's terms, because they don't do that. Because, see, everything in the government is done by a committee of 500 people in Congress that decide what it should be. So after 500 people get working on the title and everything to make everybody happy, and nobody knows what the fuck it is. And so I'll say, oh, this is a house for $1. It's not the Urban Homesteading Act. No, look at, read the small print here. You get a house for $1. And
how real is that, anyways?
It's absolutely real. No, I don't lie at all. You got to look at all this stuff. Everybody says I'm a scammer and things like that, because maybe I'm pretty good at hyperbole to get your attention. And of course, it doesn't work for everybody. Nothing does. I can't guarantee everybody get the money. Nobody can, except the people giving out the money. That's what life is. There's no guarantees, but it's real and it's there. And they give out this money. They give out, like this year, and Trump is going to give out more money than Biden ever did. He's giving, more money. It'll be an average of $18,767 per adult in the United States. That's in 2025, how much is going to be given out. And what you hear now from him, it will have no influence on that money going out whatsoever.
So how does an average person in the U.S. get hold of that money? Do they have to go through hoops and loops and do some twists and so forth to get it?
Well, only if you use Google. If you try to find Google, that you're never going to find it. And that's why we're not trained to do any of this. And here's what our country is. This is data from our gross domestic product. Okay, so this is what how big the gross domestic product is. This is capitalism, the yellow part. That represents about 60% of our economy is capitalism. Now, 40% of our economy is what I call the community economy. This is where people help people. So this is government offices and nonprofit organizations. That's the community economy. That's the capitalist economy. Here they give you money. Here that's they 40%. Take your money. Yeah. So that's 40%. See, we know how to use this. We don't know how to use this. And so we're going here to try to get there. And all you're running into 500,000 websites of people who want your money for any topic you put in.
Right. What's the blue part?
Nonprofits. So that's part of the giving economy. People that are helping each other. It's sort of like if you said, okay, if we have a fire department, okay. Now the fire department comes out when your house is on fire and they don't ask if you have a credit card first, right?
No.
Right. They do your
Thank God.
Right. And see, that's what Google's all about. First, they'll help you, but first they have to give the credit card. So our community part does it. You have a problem, you want to start a business? Well, we're here to help you start a business. You can't pay your rent? Well, we're here to help you pay your rent. You want to fix up your house? Well, we're here to give you money to fix up your house. They never ask for your credit card. So we have to learn to do that. Now, a couple of, depending on your audience. So if your audience is entrepreneuring or whatever and want to start businesses or their own thing, again, you go to Google and you'll get 1 billion websites or so or more on anything you want to start because we spend a lot of marketing in this country. But if you want to get free help and the government wants you to start something, why? Because you'll create a job. So they realize they have to help you create that job, whether it's money, help, financial. So you get all the help you want if you go to the right places. Now for job or for businesses or even a nonprofit, or if you have an invention, or if you want to be a freelancer or anything like that, you go to this website. And it's an SBA website, but you don't want to ask the SBA for anything, okay? But they have a database you want to use. And that's sba.gov. And then maybe I'll put this in the chat too. Or
yeah, that would be great. I'll put it across for everybody to grab it.
/local-assistance. Did I spell assistance? ASSIS. No, see, I did it all. See, this is that what it was right. I was a shitty speller. So SBA.gov/local-assistance. And you go there and put in your zip code. And what you'll find is anywhere from a dozen to 2-3 dozen, depending on where you live, are nonprofit organizations and government offices that all they do is help people get money and help to start anything they want. And it doesn't matter how poor you are, it doesn't matter how rich you are, or whatever. That's what I was going around helping Fortune 500 companies use all this stuff. And I'd get all the information, I'd sell it for thousands of dollars because these people pay anything, so they didn't have to leave home. And so
let me ask you, if you don't mind, going from teaching college to these people coming in, making sure that they were awake. What made you realize that I'm going to help people differently? I'm going to get into, how did you even get into understanding that the government is willing to help people?
Well, I got that by what I did. About my first successful business was helping rich people get this stuff. My clients were Fortune 500 companies that want to start businesses, grow business, do all this kind of stuff. And I was a researcher doing this kind of helping them get information and money and all that kind of stuff. And I was in Washington just by accident. If I was in Wilkes-Barre, I would have done it from there. But the libraries in Wilkes-Barre weren't too cool at that time, before the internet now. And so I'd run around these libraries and they'd find all this stuff about programs when I was doing my research, because that's, you went to libraries to do it. And then most importantly, what the librarians tell me, you don't want to get the research here in the library. You want to go down and talk to Charlie Porter, down on the second floor. If your client is interested in investing in Maine potatoes and making money on that, go talk to Charlie. And I'd go over and talk to Charlie. And Charlie Porter would be agricultural economics, probably a PhD in agricultural economics. He's a GS 17, 18, making 100 grand a year or something like that. And all he does is study the economics of Maine potatoes. And he spends millions of dollars a year studying that. And the problem with him was not getting the information. The problem is getting out of Charlie's office. He's been studying this stuff for 15 years. No one's ever asked him. The government doesn't even know he's there. His wife is sick.
He's getting paid.
Right. And I'm sitting there trying to get out so I could get paid by my client and take all his stuff that he was giving me for free. And I go, God, why doesn't everybody know about that? Why don't the people of Wilkes-Barre know about this? I didn't know about anything. I mean, I grew up thinking the government was the IRS and the post office or something.
Right. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
So how do I get a Charlie?
Yeah, how do you get a Charlie? You just get on the phone. See, that's the other thing. Everybody's going the internet. You can't, because you don't know what to ask for. You don't know the understanding of what's available. They're trying to say it in a paragraph. You won't understand. To me, I believe the most important thing you have to do is talk to people, and don't talk to anybody in Google. You have to talk to people in a .gov, G-O-V, or .org. Now, for business, that's who you would talk to. The website I gave you about local assistant. You get those organizations, you call them on the phone. You don't try to just fill out an application. That's terrible, because you're never going to find the right application. You're going to waste your time. You have to call people up and say, hey, is this a good application for me to apply? And if it isn't, where is one that will be good for me to apply? And that's how you get it. You don't get a fire hose of websites and think you're going to get through that. No. And it's the people who spend their career studying this stuff that know it all. And they're available because they work for nonprofit organizations. They work for government offices. That means they're working for you. They're not a corporation that could hang up on the phone for you. They'll hang up on the phone too, but probably for different reasons.
Right. So let me ask you, Matthew. I want to do something. I have a communication school, and I want to be able to teach children how to communicate properly from the age of 9 to 18.
Right.
And I'm doing it out of my own pocket. How do I get funded for something like that?
Well, first of all, what I would do, a lot of people want to run out and become a nonprofit. I would never do that.
No, I don't want to be a nonprofit.
I
want to make the money, but I want to help people doing so.
Right. Okay. So that's right. But so you're a nonprofit. What I would do really is go to that SBA.gov, because what you're going to get there are nonprofit organizations that help you develop whatever the hell you want to develop. So they and they're, remember, they're not like you and I fighting, the alligators of the day again, but they're helping people like you every day, hundreds of people. They know government programs, all the 100 people. So that's what they're doing. I mean, to me, another thing to do is, this would be a good, I think, government contract. The government will want to do this to people, right? For people. And so that's like a good government thing to do, or a government, whether it's local, county, city, or whatever. So if you then you will have to figure out, how do you sell this to the local school system? Or the local whoever that is interested in helping. If it's the early childhood development centers, if that's, I forget what age you were into. What age was that?
9 to 18.
9 to 18. So that's not early childhood, but that's the middle school stuff. Okay. So you want to sell to that people who are working on kids in middle school. Okay, we have another government office that helps you figure that out. It's called, here's the address, It's called, now if I spell this right, Apex, APEX, Accelerator, ACCEL .us. Accelerate. Let me type that in to make sure I got it right.
See, this is why you're the money guy.
Yeah. Well, now what's important about this is not only for you, for 9-year-olds, but this is why Elon Musk is in town. He already got $4 billion from these people. Okay. And he wants more. 4 or 5 billion is not enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you
that's
think
where
oh, there it is. It came through. Okay.
And you make an appointment. See, again, they're going to be your consultants for free to figure out how to do this. Otherwise, you go to Google, you'll never find these people because they're not advertising. All the people want to get 5-10 grand from you to figure this out are advertising in Google. So they want you to land on their site. So they tell you this is the best thing you have. Yeah. But it's
That's
not.
it right there.
Yes. What's that?
Is that it with the question?
Yeah, apexaccelerators.us. And when you get there, you call and make an appointment so you understand the system. Don't try to understand it by reading. Life is too complicated to know that. And that's why people are there, so you can ask dumb questions and figure out if this is for you. And if not, then maybe you have to change your idea a little bit to see how it could fit for this, if this is your only site. But I would also go to that first one, sba.gov local assistance, and do exactly the same thing. Because then this is only the government contracts part, but this is the non-government they probably know that too, but it's more broader. So to find other things, because they will run into other people who try to do this or whatever, and particularly where you are in New York, and they know this other stuff that's over here, because New York has a lot of stuff for helping entrepreneurs. You know, ever since Bloomberg was in town, he set up a lot of new funding sources.
So what do you think of Bloomberg? I liked him.
Oh, really? Well, it sounds nice to me. He's not mean. I don't know if he did everything right. None of us do.
Well,
no, he did stuff, that wasn't hurtful.
Correct.
That's the bottom line. That's all we can all hope for to do. Do stuff that doesn't hurt people.
So Matthew, earlier you showed us a graph, which kind of matched your outfit.
You should see.
You did that on purpose, didn't you? The yellow is where the government is taking your money, right? When you and you told me this, and I thought it was pretty funny. What made you, or even possessed you, to say, I want to wear? And I remember you as a kid wearing the question mark suits, right? And if you think about the Joker, right? He wore the question mark suit sometimes. But you truly stood out for me because of how vibrant your commercials were. What inspired you to even not be dressed up like they do in Washington with a blue suit and a red tie? What inspired you to go differently and be more out there?
Failure.
Get out.
I swear to God. I was doing it like everybody said. It wasn't working. Right. And I was not having fun. So, I mean, I got the MBA. I had a software company in the 70s that failed. So I was doing all these things that everybody taught me to do. They were failing, and I was not having fun. Now, after 2-3 times doing that, I said, hey, something's wrong with life here. I don't want to be miserable for 20, 30 years to maybe have fun in the future. That just seemed crazy. And it didn't look possible to me because everything I was doing was stupid. It wasn't working. So
Gotcha.
I said, then the best thing I could do is have fun today. So I don't have to worry.
Great advice. I love it.
I don't have to worry that I'm going to eat shit for 30 years so I could maybe have fun.
Right.
Which just
I love
seems
your attitude. Your attitude is so, I'm going to say it so everybody can listen carefully. Contagious. Your attitude is contagious because why wait? We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So why not do it today, right?
right. And
I love that.
then to me, it's about having fun is living inside out. I think our best talents, the best everything we have is inside of us. It's not outside of us. Maybe you could use those tools to enhance them or whatever, or fit it into what's outside. But really, the best we have that makes us happy is using our insides. It's and I think it's professional and personal. When you want to love somebody, you want to love as hard as you can. You want to help somebody with something or provide a service. You want to work as hard as you can. But for somehow we reverse that relationship, and work is only enough to get paid or something like that, and wow, and we want it easy, and life.
Life's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. And so why pretend? And so to me, it's almost a wasted life if it's easy. You haven't grown. And it's sort of like playing a basketball against a 5-year-old. Sure, you could win all the time, right? But that's not fun. That's not growing. That's not contributing. That's not doing anything. That's just winning. Yeah. And what does that do? It's not doing anything with your size. So that's why then it's like this, what you see on the outside down, this is me inside. But there's no encouragement to do this. I lost lots and lots of money when I started dressing like this because people wouldn't have me on TV shows because I looked like a clown. I'm going to talk about financial planning from a clown. You're going to
because of your outfits, right? But they didn't see the
no, they don't.
They didn't see your mind, right? They just saw the exterior.
Somebody else's decision. Yeah, and best thing I ever did in my life. It keeps doing the best, and I have to recalibrate a lot to go back to my insides and trust in there. I mean, I believe now your mind, your heart is smarter than your mind. That's where all the good stuff comes. But we go out and get professionals to tell us what to do, which to me is the most stupid thing in the world to do. And sure, you get advice so you don't fall off a cliff and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You're asking somebody. Now, none of us know what to do in life, first of all, no matter how professional you are, no matter how good you are. We're all guessing, and so to me, it's why am I going and taking advice from somebody who doesn't even know what to do with their own life?
So true. That is so true. When and how did you even find the suits that you started wearing? I love that story because you told me already, but man, I was overjoyed when you told me.
It's getting so much easier now, though. First day was
yeah.
Do this. And I found out somebody in one of the malls here was embroidering things. So maybe I'll get a cheap suit and have them embroider question marks. And that was the first time. That didn't work well. And then I found out ultra suede is something you could sew on and doesn't fray. So I buy colorful ultra suede, buy a cheap suit, have a seamstress sew that on. That didn't work too good. Then I went online once and find somebody I wanted to put what I call slim fit suits, because that's why most suits are big baggy balloons. Right. There's a place in Sweden, this slim fit suits, and I said, "Hey, can you put question marks on it?" So I didn't have to. So, oh yeah, we could do that. We could silkscreen question marks on them. So I got these, my first suit from them, and it came from a box from Vietnam, from Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City, when I was in the Vietnam, they were trying to kill my ass.
Well, by the way, thank you for your service back then.
Oh, well.
And thank God they didn't kill your ass because you're brilliant.
But it was interesting. And now I still go send, well, actually now, see, they were doing silkscreen. That was great. Now, what happened in the last 10 years or so, there's something called 3D printing. So I use a company called Spoon Flour out in North Carolina. And they will, I go to Fiverr.com, FIVRR.com, and I have some designer for $20. They'll design an image for me, and I send it to a Spoon Flour, and they'll make 5, 7, 10 yards of fabric for me, and it only costs like $13 a yard. See, before to get fabric, your image, you got to buy 100 yards.
Right.
Yeah. And now you can buy it by the yards at $20 a yard. Yes, $15. So I send that. So that costs $50. I send it to Vietnam. They make a suit for $50, and bang, I got it. And I pay more for postage.
So you're getting a suit for under $100.
No, well, actually, it turns out to be over 200. You know,
but still, that's cheap.
If I had this made, handmade here, it'd be 1,000 or something. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Great.
Yeah.
Off the air, you'll have to tell me where you get your suits. Of course, I'm not going to copy you because you're an original.
I don't care, man. You copy me. That'd be fine.
You're 81.
Yeah.
You're never going to retire. I can see that. You love what you do.
Absolutely.
Right? You wrote your first book that you copied.
Right.
Tell me about the rest of the books that you decided to write.
Well, they're all reference books. They weren't, novels or
right.
Complex sentences. Didn't have the background for that. No, I think if you want to retire, you just have the wrong job. I think the mission in life is finding out how to give as much as you to other people. So that's through your work or through your love, and getting paid for it. So is to somehow marry those two things so you could give more every day and still support yourself. And that's tricky in our society. So sometimes you have to do both, but you still have an obligation to yourself, and I think the rest of us, to explore, whatever is special and unique about you, because that's the best you have to give. So that's the complete thing of loving. I mean, to me now, how do I love more? I mean, I work on that more than anything else in my life right now. And what has happened is that, God, my life is so special right now. Man, if I knew being 81 was going to be this much fun, I would have got here a hell of a lot faster. What the hell took me so long? Yeah,
right.
It is just phenomenal. And most of that is using your heart. It's how do you open your heart, no matter what you're doing. We have an incredible tool there that, it's not in economics. It's above economics, and it's short of religion, because no matter what religion you have, you could still do this, and opening that, and that creates so much comfort in everything you do, because life's going to beat you up no matter who you are. You ain't special.
Yeah, absolutely.
So get ready.
What do you think of this statement that's I've heard so many times? They're 70, but they died at 25. So that means that they're not living their life, right?
Exactly. And because there's no encouragement to open your heart, there's no encouragement to be you, and we fall into that trap because we're all going to school and the seminars and everything, copying somebody else's success. You can't. You maybe little pieces of it, but you can't. You have to do yours. And I think loving is not telling people what to do. We're all struggling. Nobody knows what to do. So what gives you the audacity to tell anybody else in life what to do when you don't even know what the hell to do yourself?
That's
And
brilliant. That's
and
brilliant.
what we have to do to loved ones or anyone in our society, I think, help them do what they want to do. Don't get in the way of that. That's what love is. They're struggling every ounce of their life trying to figure out what to do today. And you're going to come up, oh, you're going to make it like, oh, you asshole, what do you think of that for? No, they've been working on that.
When you consider what you just said, it's such a powerful statement that we should not be telling anyone else what to do,
That's
but
right.
maybe finding out what it is that they want to do and help them
Right.
along the way.
That's it. You help them do whatever. After 2 failing marriages, that's our real. The third time I got married, what do you want to do? Okay, we're on a mission just to help you do whatever the fuck you want to do. And absolutely, that's what love is helping people do what they want to do, not what you want them to do. And it's so hard to learn because we're so egotistical.
We sure are.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have found myself, right, at a very early age, that it's not about me.
It's not
It's
about
about us, right? It's about how can I help someone else?
Right.
And along the way, not everybody that you help is going to come back and help you or give you money or do all these things, but you help anyway.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Because if it's transactional, then I don't think it grow your heart. You have to be helping from your heart. So no matter what comes back, you're doing it, and not and capitalism doesn't operate that way. So it gets beat into us a little bit that way, or beat out of us.
Yeah, exactly.
The good stuff gets beat out of us because it's not capitalism. You're not getting paid for this. What the hell are you doing that for?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're
One of the things, one of the things that when you ask somebody for a favor, they're like, "Well, I'll do you the favor. What are you going to do for me?"
right. Exactly.
At that point, I'm like, you know what? I don't need
Sorry.
Because it's no longer a favor, right?
Exactly.
If you want something in return, it's
Right.
It's not. It's a give and give and give and give and give some more.
Right. Absolutely.
What inspires you daily? At 81, you're still doing what you're doing because you said passion. I get that part.
Yeah.
But are there days that you go, I'm not doing it today?
Oh. Sometimes I feel tired. My body cheats on me sometimes. It gets sore or something. And then I have to do something different, or whatever. Then it's more maybe loving in a different way. So loving people for they are, not through my work, to take that away. I live with a wonderful person, and being able to love her harder is a wonderful relief. If I need it, I don't. I think, what is a different way to frame? I work on the same problem for 50 years. The government, a different way to package it. Package is not a good word, but to frame it. We're trying to talk to other people. So that is the problem, is what's in their mind. I don't know. And that's why you have to constantly get input from other people. Like, to me, doing podcasts, I never did interviews in a long time, but I see, like, doing that, it makes me come up with ways to restructure what I'm doing to make it more effective. That's it. It's like anybody with a mission in life, they work on that for so long, but they live in a society. I remember reading books about heroes and the famous mythology people and stuff like that. And a hero, when they go out and slay the dragon and come back to the village and try to the village doesn't understand or whatever. It's the hero's responsibility to try to understand how to explain it to them. Not you dumbass, don't you understand?
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I find.
Tell me about you. Does your partner dress like you, or are they more subdued?
We have a non-compete clause, as she says.
I love it.
No, she's not as great, but she's colorful, nice, and fun. Yeah. And
There you
what's
go.
crazy,
I love it.
she could dress and look dynamite on $20. It takes me 20,000.
It's beautiful how you you show your love for her
Yeah.
without necessarily putting her on a pedestal, but knowing that she is a super incredible human being who's part of your life, right? And that's beautiful. That's beautiful, because that's so. And you said this is your third one. Sometimes it takes more than once
like
to
waffle.
really. You got to burn them a few times, right? Or you get burnt.
Right.
But sometimes, and it's okay to say, hey, you know what? You said in the beginning, you said, because I failed.
Yeah.
Right. So failure to me is just another way of how to not do something, how to do it better next time, right?
Right. Well, if you don't fail, it means you're not doing anything. Yeah, it shows you you're doing something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you talked about earlier, playing against a 5-year-old in basketball will always win. So
Exactly.
what have you accomplished?
Right.
Except make a 5-year-old cry. What advice are you living on that you've given other people?
Wow, that's what I love, giving advice. I hear what I believe, not what I do. It's hard to do this. So all these things that I've said, I fail at them all the time. That's why I love
you live in Washington.
Yeah.
And you come across a lot of politicians, influential people. What is their take on you?
They ignore
that
me.
you know of?
They don't know what to do.
They get confused, huh?
Yeah, well, they don't know how to react because they have to act emotionally. And so they don't, successful people hate to be emotional. They want to be, in control and things like that. And so, like, I belonged to a very expensive country club. I was a golfer young time and real famous in town here. And nobody says a boo to me. Yeah. Well, there's a few maybe now. I've been there 30 years or more. And the only time I get, the staff loves me, all that kind of stuff. But when their kid comes, and oh, Daddy, the question mark guy's here. Oh, they want to meet the question mark. Then they pretend they're my best friend, so they can introduce their kid to the question mark guy. And there's a guy I was naked with in the shower for how many years, never said boo to me. Now becomes my best friend. And there's zip codes like that. I live in a funky neighborhood. And so I'm like the Pope. They all wear the posters on their sleeve, and they treat me so nice. And people in public usually do, but in tight zip codes, like high income zip codes, they just pretend they don't see me because they don't know what to do. And so if the kid is there, then the kid gets so excited. Yeah. But no, it's the best thing. And even if they don't know my work, I walked on because I dress like this every day of my life. And I go, usually I don't do this as much as anymore because I'm in the gym a lot. But I'll walk around town all the time, and just people, all the homeless love me. I get hugs from everybody in the street, and just to be able to walk down the street, and because of what I wear, it makes them smile and be a little happier. I have nothing better in life to do than that.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
if I
Love
could
it.
do that.
That's incredible. When you I love the fact that you said that you're the Pope. Good.
I grew up Catholic, so that.
So do you go around blessing them a little bit?
No, the Jesuits got me out of Catholicism.
Gotcha.
I mean, not
When you
or anything, but they made me think first time.
well, they knock on your door every day, right?
Oh no, the Jesuits. These are
Oh,
priests.
not the Jehovah's Witness. I
No,
got you.
no,
I got
oh,
you.
yeah. Yeah.
But they do knock on your door every day. The Jehovah's
Right.
Witness.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I had one knock on my door, and I actually opened the door and talked to them,
Yeah.
and they wanted to leave before I can finish.
I could out evangelize you.
That's right. As a kid, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to show you." But it was so interesting
Yeah.
to have you on my show, and I got to tell you, the first time I was like, "No, this can't be. I'm going to talk to Mr. Matthew here. This is so cool." Because I grew up watching your commercials, and I'm like, "This guy's." He's out there. I'm a kid, so I didn't take you seriously, right?
Yeah.
When I started watching you. When was your first commercial?
Oh, well, I started doing books probably in the early '80s with New York's, and then I was doing talk shows then because they'd send you on publicity tours.
Right.
And then then later on in the '80s, I started publishing myself and doing publicity tours, my own. And then you can only do Oprah so many times. And so how do you get more TV? So you got to buy it. And I learned how to buy that. But I learned how to buy it where you didn't have to buy it. There's so much commercial time out there available that can't be sold. So I would do commercials and give them to stations. And I said, if nobody sells that time, put my commercial on, I'll give you half the money. Yeah. So I had a risk-free advertising. Made lots of money that way. Yeah. So that's another way to do it. Then people are telling you. That's why you if you talk to experts in an industry, they tell you how people are making money at it. Yeah, people who have money are making money this way. How about people who don't have money? Well, can't make money this way. And that's another thing about wearing these suits. It keeps me outside the group think. I don't fit in. Nobody wants me there. And that's where the opportunities are. The opportunities aren't where everybody's doing it. Opportunities are where nobody's doing it. Very few people are doing it. And particularly if you don't have money.
The least traveled road, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you go out, or do you even go out now outside of your circle anymore, like you did back when you were younger?
Yeah. Oh, I do that. Well, I guess I don't. I'm mostly, but no, I'm out. I go out to dinner most nights, talk to people, and this is so nice to go out because it makes people smile, and it makes people happy, and they want to come up and talk to me, and that's fine. I love people, and it gives spice to my life. I mean, I walk down the street, and people want to just thank me for making them smile. Jesus Christ, I don't get that at home.
Yeah. Oh, come on. You do have a wonderful partner. She probably so used to you. She's over smiling, right?
Yeah. You know what her name is to me?
Tell me.
Smiley. She's the kind you can wake her up in the middle of the night and she'll wake up smiling. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a gift, right? Yeah. That's a gift for you, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're wrapping it up, but what I'd love for the audience, and I've had so many people come through and so forth, is for them to understand how you're still doing what you're doing and how you even have lescohelp.com.
Yeah. Well,
Why
let's
are
go.
you so passionate about helping people? Tell us
I,
about your website.
I would be, even if that wasn't there, I would do it through books. But this is the best way I've found it after 50 years. And it really is a community. And I'm not helping people, it's members helping people.
Mm.
We have 15,000 members helping each other get government grants, not just me. You know, I'm just a trained SEAL out in front to get you in the door. Yeah, and that's what's amazing to me. And plus, what we're doing, we just initiated yesterday, is a way which I think. See, I always thought the government should be doing this. I should not be doing this. This is the government's programs. They should have a decent system for people to use it. They don't. So everybody's swimming in a cesspool trying to figure out. And now, not only do we have members helping members, we have it's a step-by-step process to understand this, that we finally, after doing this for 2-3 years, whatever it's been, have it. So it's, again, more of what the government should do. Okay, here's what you do first. If you're interested in like buying a house, okay, this is the first step to take. Here's the phone number to call or whatever. Okay, then you do that. And then we have the second step to do that. And then we have training programs in the middle of that, and nothing costs extra. You're still only paying $20 for the whole ball of wax, and where you talk to other people who are in the same process doing this. What did you get? How did you get it? What did it? And they're all together going through this cohort of understanding this thing, because otherwise you're going to run into roadblocks and you're going to quit. You can't do that. So that's why I was so amazed I could make money at $20. I used to spend $20,000, charge $20,000 to rich people. They'll pay anything. But I wanted it to be, I don't care about them getting this. I care about the people who really need it. So there are people only pay $20. And not only is it profitable, it's so profitable, we're giving money back to people. We give over $50,000 to $70,000 every month back to members, because that's the profit. After we pay ourselves, we give all the money back to members in grants of either $500 or $1,000 to people. We do that every single month.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I thought I had to be Jeff Bezos to do something like that.
Yeah. Does he donate to people?
His wife does, or his ex-wife.
I'm saying, how about him? I don't know if he does.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, and that's the part of the giving, and the members who are giving to each other feel that giving. So it's all. That's why I call it a loving community. We're just loving the hell out of each other and trying to get through this life as error-free, as injured-free as possible.
We're all going to make errors, but injury we try to avoid, right?
Exactly.
So everybody go to lescohelp.com, join the community. You might find me there because
we sent you a link, so you have
I'll take a look. Yeah. Make sure that I'm in it, right? Everybody, wow, what an incredible human being you are. Thank you for the light that you're shining. And please continue forever and ever. One last question. You said that you spend most of your time in the gym. You're so fit. Why is that important at 81?
A short, fat kid. I fight that fat every day of my life. I was never a jock. And I started running after I got out of the Navy, and that was the only thing that kept me. And I ran for about 40 or 50 years, and now I can't run anymore, not because of my bones or muscles or any of that stuff. It's the brain doesn't work fast enough to run. And tripping and stuff like that. So I got to do something safer.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, keep going, my friend. You're powerful.
Well, thank you. You're a sweet man, and that's what we need.
Right. We need more people to help each other. Right.
Right.
Exactly. That's why you're around, my friend. Right. Do me a favor. Hang on for a second when you say goodbye to everybody.
Sure.
Everybody, thank you. Make sure you share this. Lots of information in this show. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.